7 toxic behaviors you should never accept again. The most dangerous people in your life are not always your enemies. Sometimes, they are the people you love, the people you trust, the people you keep giving chances to. Little by little, they drain your peace, weaken your confidence, and convince you that accepting their behavior is a sign of kindness. But according to Stoicism, accepting what destroys your peace is not kindness. It is self-neglect. The Stoics believe that protecting your mind is one of your greatest responsibilities. Because once people convince you to tolerate disrespect, manipulation, and emotional abuse, they begin shaping your life in ways you never intended. Many good people suffer not because they are weak, but because they confuse patience with permission. They believe enduring mistreatment makes them noble. They believe sacrificing themselves endlessly is love. But wisdom teaches a different lesson. You can be compassionate without allowing people to abuse your kindness. You can forgive without allowing repeated harm. You can love others without abandoning yourself. Today, we will discuss 7 toxic behaviors you should never accept again. Some of these behaviors may seem small. Some may appear normal because society has normalized them. But left unchecked, they slowly destroy confidence, peace, and self-respect. The moment you recognize them is the moment you begin reclaiming your life. Subscribe to Stoic Reflections for more videos on Stoicism, self-mastery, emotional intelligence, and mental strength. Because protecting your peace is not selfish. It is wisdom. Toxic behavior number 1. Constant disrespect disguised as jokes. Some people insult you and call it humor. They embarrass you publicly and tell you to relax. They make hurtful comments and accuse you of being too sensitive. And after enough repetition, you begin questioning your own feelings. But the Stoics understood something important. Repeated disrespect remains disrespect, no matter how cleverly it is disguised. There was a man named Daniel. His closest friend constantly mocked him. Whenever Daniel achieved something, his friend made sarcastic comments. Whenever Daniel shared an idea, his friend ridiculed it. Whenever Daniel felt hurt, the response was always the same. I was only joking. For years, Daniel tolerated this behavior. He feared appearing weak. He feared losing the friendship. Until one day, he realized something painful. A real friend protects your dignity. A toxic person attacks it repeatedly. That realization changed everything. Daniel began establishing boundaries. He stopped laughing at insults, stopped tolerating humiliation, stopped allowing disrespect to masquerade as humor. The friendship eventually ended, and surprisingly, Daniel felt lighter, more confident, more peaceful. The Stoics believed self-respect is one of life's greatest treasures, because people often treat you according to the standards you establish. If you repeatedly accept disrespect, others begin assuming disrespect is acceptable. But when you calmly protect your dignity, you teach people how to treat you. Imagine allowing someone to place small cracks in a wall every day. Individually, the cracks seem insignificant, but eventually the structure weakens. The same happens with self-respect. Small acts of tolerated disrespect accumulate until confidence begins collapsing. Do not allow that. The people who truly value you will never require you to sacrifice your dignity to keep their approval. Toxic behavior number 2. Manipulation through guilt. This form of toxicity is often difficult to recognize because it disguises itself as love. There was a woman named Sophia. She constantly sacrificed her own needs for others. Whenever she said no, people became upset. Whenever she prioritized herself, people called her selfish. Gradually, Sophia began living for everyone's happiness except her own. She felt guilty resting, guilty establishing boundaries, guilty protecting her peace, until an elderly mentor asked her a simple question: why do you believe your well-being matters less than everyone else's? That question changed her life, because she realized she had been manipulated by guilt for years. The Stoics believed kindness should come from virtue, not from fear, not from guilt. not from emotional pressure. Healthy relationships respect boundaries. Toxic relationships punish boundaries. Manipulators often say, "If you loved me, you would do this. If you cared, you wouldn't say no. After everything I've done for you." But genuine love does not force. It does not threaten. And it does not make kindness feel like obligation. Sophia gradually learned this lesson. And as she became more comfortable saying no, her peace returned. Interestingly, some people disappeared from her life. Not because she became selfish, because her boundaries exposed relationships that depended on her lack of them. People who truly love you will respect your boundaries. People who benefit from your weakness will resent them. Toxic behavior number 3. People who only appear when they need something. Have you ever noticed that some people disappear during your struggles, but suddenly return when they need help? They ignore your pain, ignore your needs, ignore your dreams, yet expect immediate support whenever they face difficulties. There was a man named Marcus. He was generous by nature, always helping, always giving, always available. Yet something bothered him. Certain people contacted him only when they needed favors, money, advice, assistance. But when Marcus needed support, silence. Years passed before he accepted a painful truth. Not everyone who enters your life values you. Some value only what you provide. The Stoics warned against confusing usefulness with friendship, because genuine relationships involve reciprocity, mutual care, mutual respect, mutual support. Marcus slowly stopped chasing one-sided relationships. He invested his energy in people who genuinely cared, and his life became more peaceful. Because protecting your energy is not cruelty. It is wisdom. You deserve relationships where your presence is valued, not merely your usefulness. Toxic behavior number 4. People who constantly make you doubt yourself. One of the most dangerous forms of toxicity is not open hatred. It is quiet destruction, the kind that slowly erodes your confidence, the kind that makes you question your intelligence, your memory, your worth, your abilities. There was a young woman named Olivia. She was bright, capable, hardworking. Yet after several years in a relationship, she barely recognized herself. Whenever she expressed her feelings, she was told, "You're imagining things." Whenever she remembered a painful event, she heard, "That never happened." Whenever she succeeded, her achievements were minimized. Whenever she failed, her failures were exaggerated. Little by little, Olivia stopped trusting her own mind. She second-guessed every decision, every emotion, every memory. The Stoics warned against allowing external opinions to dominate your inner world. Because the moment you lose trust in yourself, you become vulnerable to manipulation. One day, Olivia began writing her thoughts in a journal, documenting conversations, recording her feelings honestly, and gradually something became clear. She was not confused. She was being controlled. The realization was painful, but also liberating, because truth gives you power. The Stoics believe that wisdom begins with seeing reality clearly, not the reality someone else creates for you, but reality as it truly is. Olivia eventually walked away, and although rebuilding her confidence took time, she rediscovered something precious: her own voice, her own judgment, her own strength. Never underestimate the importance of trusting yourself, because people who constantly make you doubt your worth rarely have your best interests at heart. Anyone who repeatedly destroys your confidence is not protecting your heart. They are protecting their control over you. Toxic behavior number 5. People who never take responsibility. The Stoics admired one quality above many others: accountability, because growth is impossible without it. Yet some people spend their entire lives avoiding responsibility. Nothing is ever their fault. Every mistake has an excuse. Every failure has someone to blame. Every conflict becomes your responsibility. There was a man named Ethan whose closest friend behaved this way. Whenever problems arose, Ethan apologized. Ethan compromised. Ethan changed. But his friend never did. If he lied, he blamed circumstances. If he hurt people, he blamed stress. If he betrayed trust, he blamed misunderstandings. Years passed, and nothing improved. Because people rarely change until they accept responsibility. The Stoics understood this deeply. You cannot force another person to grow. You cannot heal someone who refuses honesty. And you cannot save someone committed to avoiding accountability. Ethan eventually realized something difficult. Loyalty should not require endless suffering. Friendship should not require abandoning self-respect. So he stopped trying to rescue someone unwilling to rescue themselves. And for the first time in years, he felt peace. Many people remain trapped in toxic relationships because they believe patience will transform others. Sometimes it does, but often, people change only when they decide to, not when you sacrifice yourself endlessly. Compassion is admirable, but compassion without boundaries becomes self-destruction. Toxic behavior number 6. People who are jealous of your growth. Not everyone celebrates your success. This is one of life's most painful lessons. Sometimes the people who applaud your dreams in the beginning become uncomfortable when those dreams start becoming reality. There was a young man named Noah. For years he struggled financially. Many people sympathized with him, encouraged him, supported him. Then Noah changed his life. He became disciplined, improved his habits, started a business, developed confidence, and unexpectedly, certain relationships became strained. Friends who once encouraged him began criticizing him. Some mocked his ambitions. Others minimized his achievements. Some even hoped he would fail. At first, Noah felt confused. Why would people resent positive change? The Stoics understood why. Growth forces people to confront their own choices. And not everyone is comfortable with that. Your discipline reminds others of their excuses. Your courage reminds others of their fears. Your success reminds others of their unrealized potential. This does not make everyone jealous, but it explains why some people react negatively to your progress. The Stoics advised, do not become bitter. Do not seek revenge. Simply continue growing. Because shrinking yourself to preserve unhealthy relationships is one of the saddest forms of self-betrayal. A true friend celebrates your victories, supports your evolution, and becomes inspired by your success. Anyone threatened by your growth is revealing more about themselves than about you. Never apologize for becoming the person you were meant to be. Toxic behavior number 7. People who drain your peace and call it love. Perhaps the most dangerous toxic behavior of all is this. Someone constantly brings chaos into your life and convinces you that enduring it is proof of love. They create drama, start unnecessary conflicts, ignore your feelings, break your trust, disappear when you need them, return when it benefits them, and each time you consider leaving, they promise to change. For a while, things improve. Then the cycle begins again. There was a woman named Hannah. For years, she remained in a relationship that exhausted her emotionally. Every day felt unpredictable. Some days she was adored. Other days she was ignored. Some days she felt valued. Other days she felt invisible. The inconsistency became addictive. She kept hoping things would return to the good moments. But the good moments became increasingly rare. One evening, after another painful argument, Hannah sat quietly and asked herself, when did love become this exhausting? The answer changed her life. Love was never meant to destroy peace. Love was never meant to require constant suffering. Love was never meant to make you lose yourself. The Stoics believed that relationships should strengthen your character, not weaken it. They should increase peace, not increase chaos. They should encourage growth, not create fear. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself repeatedly that peace of mind is precious, and anything that repeatedly destroys your peace deserves careful examination. Hannah finally found the courage to leave, not because she stopped caring, because she started caring about herself. The first weeks were painful. The loneliness felt heavy. The uncertainty felt frightening. But gradually something beautiful happened. The anxiety faded. The tension disappeared. The peace she had sacrificed for years slowly returned. And with peace came clarity. She realized she had mistaken emotional intensity for love. But true love is not chaos. True love feels safe, respectful, stable, supportive. The Stoics understood that inner peace is one of life's greatest treasures, and anyone who repeatedly destroys it without remorse should not have unlimited access to your life. The right people will bring peace to your life, not endless confusion. Now let's remember these 7 toxic behaviors you should never accept again. Constant disrespect disguised as jokes. Manipulation through guilt. People who appear only when they need something. People who constantly make you doubt yourself. People who never take responsibility. People who are jealous of your growth. And people who drain your peace while calling it love. Notice something important. None of these behaviors become acceptable simply because they come from someone you love. The Stoics never taught blind tolerance. They taught wisdom. And wisdom sometimes means walking away. Walking away from manipulation. Walking away from disrespect. Walking away from relationships that repeatedly damage your spirit. This does not make you cruel. It makes you courageous. Because protecting your peace requires courage. Many people remain trapped in toxic relationships because they fear loneliness. But the Stoics believed something remarkable. It is better to be alone with peace and surrounded by people who destroy it. Your peace is valuable. Your self-respect is valuable. Your emotional well-being is valuable. And you have a responsibility to protect them. Remember, you teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. If you repeatedly accept disrespect, disrespect becomes normal. If you repeatedly sacrifice yourself, self-neglect becomes normal. But when you establish boundaries, everything changes. You begin attracting healthier relationships, stronger friendships, deeper respect, and most importantly, you develop a stronger relationship with yourself. The Stoics believe that self-respect is the foundation of a meaningful life. Because when you respect yourself, you stop begging for love, stop chasing approval, stop tolerating treatment that diminishes your worth. You begin choosing peace over chaos, wisdom over emotional dependence, strength over fear, and that decision can transform your entire life. Some people will not like your boundaries. Some people will resent your growth. Some people will disappear when they realize they can no longer manipulate you. Let them go, because the people meant to remain in your life will respect your standards. They will celebrate your growth. They will protect your peace rather than destroy it. And those are the relationships worth keeping. Subscribe to Stoic Reflections for more videos on Stoicism, self-mastery, emotional intelligence, mental strength, wisdom, and personal growth. And remember, the moment you stop accepting what destroys your peace is the moment your life truly begins. Because protecting your peace is not selfish. It is one of the highest forms of self-respect.